And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Always Pressing PGA DFS podcast. Yes, you heard me correctly. We are back for the 2024 calendar season of PGA Tour action as the tour heads to Hawaii for the Sentry. Used to be Tournament of Champions, the Sentry now. We have 59 golfers instead of the normal like 25 to 30 that we get at this event. So we'll preview that. We'll talk about some stuff that took place since the last time you heard from us and much, much more. You can find me on Twitter at BDentric, the podcast at Always Press DFS, and my co-host, as always, on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods. Jesse, how we doing, my friend?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. It's fun to get back on the PGA grind. At least I think it's fun for now. We'll see.
Yeah. We will definitely see. At least this year, it's not just the normal 30 golfers that we get, or less in some years. We've got a decent field or at least a more average field for these no-cut events. So, looking forward to it. And there's nothing better than watching primetime Hawaii golf.
Like you get to go to bed watching it on the East Coast. I get to kind of get ready for bed watching it. Like it's beautiful to see guys in Hawaii. You get Thomas isn't there this year, but you get like Thomas and Spieth kayaking and stuff. And it's a different world as they go to Kapalua, which is a ton of fun. But you mentioned 59 golfers, almost the size of a live event, which has a new member on it. And one, John Rahm, aka Rombo, made the splash. It's kind of been like hinted at forever, and it finally happened. I think he got 450, 550 million, something like that, some astronomical number to go join Live. And now he can't talk. He did all these interviews the first day. Now he can't talk about anything as they're trying to recruit players. His team, the Toros, supposedly, if it's true, the logos look amazing. Like I might buy a John Rahm Toros hat. That looks pretty sweet. But what's your thoughts on Rombo going to Live? That's like they've had some big names. That takes the cake for now.
Yeah, it's definitely the biggest name that they've signed over there. I mean it sucks. I mean I don't know how else to put it. For season long golf or watching tournaments week in week out. For us who like to follow the PGA Tour, it just sucks. The other thing that kills me about Rahm is all of the quotes that he had about I'm not going to do it, and I want legacy and yada yada yada. And as soon as name your price, and I guess his price is 500 million, which I don't blame him.
I'd say yes to 500. I'd say left a lot less, but
100%. I'm sorry, but if somebody came along and said, "Hey Jesse, will you come over and do a podcast for us for 500 million?" I would have to leave you
for only 5 years. And honestly, I'd be sad, but I'd be like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, fair enough. You win.
So, I mean, it's not about the money to me. I mean, it's just, for me, it's about just the watering down of professional golf. And it's just not as fun. I mean, obviously the majors are going to be great no matter what, because all these guys are still going to be at the majors, but yeah, I mean, it's what's going to suffer is the John Deere, and I mean, just those tournaments are gonna be shit. So, and I still have no interest in watching Live, so I'm not going to watch it just because John Rahm went over there. I don't really care.
I might try to check it out, but I don't have the CW, so I'm kind of screwed there. A couple of things of that though is I'll give Rahm the benefit of the doubt here. Where I would have given any player now after getting blindsided by the tour. I think all loyalty left the building on that one, because he was doing all this before that happened. He was saying all that, and then when you come out and do this, and he had words at that point that said he kind of like I'm going to paraphrase, but kind of how he didn't appreciate we were in the dark, all those kind of things. Yeah, I might have a little bit of okay, let's reopen conversations now, guys. Like if this is how it's going to go, let me get my money before you guys merge, and I can't get money anymore. That's the way I see it. That type thing.
I could see that.
The Masters Champions Dinner is going to be electric, as he is making the menu for that one. That should be a ton of fun, as Tiger's still holding strong. But even like Rory, kind of when Rahm joined, kind of quieted his takes back, said, "I love him. We're gonna have to change the Ryder Cup rules because Rahm has to be a part of it." All of a sudden, the tone started changing. I think Rory's also kind of like, "Hey, you used me as a mouthpiece." That's why he backed off the committee now, and you guys blindsided. Like I think a lot of these guys kind of had enough of Jay and the boys screwing things up.
Yeah, Jay's got to go. I mean, how does he still have a job? I don't understand. But have you heard anything else about this? I haven't seen much. I don't know where the negotiations or where this merger, quote unquote merger stands.
What came out, whatever if you can believe any of this, is that the that Boston Media Group or whatever, Fenway Media Group, they're gonna do a large chunk, it looks like. And then the negotiations with the PIF is still going on. It got extended to, I believe, the weekend of the Masters or something like that. But apparently they're very close. They wanted to extend it to make it like not rushed and actually good type thing. And because Monahan sent a letter to all the PGA guys that got leaked, of course.
Because initially the deadline was the 31st. Like,
yeah, it got
2 days
extended.
ago, right?
It got extended to the weekend of the Masters, and it basically said they want to do it right so that we can unify both leagues, the DP World Tour, Live, and the PGA all together, type thing. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So that's where they're at on that market right now. Obviously, two separate entities. We'll see where it all lands. I'd imagine it's that way for all of 2024. Maybe the actual guys playing together again, it'd be 2025. We'll see. It's going to happen because the PGA Tour is going to be out of money. That's the biggest thing. Like they showed it, they're going to be broke. They need money badly. And if there's any place that has all the money in the world, we know where it's at. So that's very simple.
That's what sucks, though. I mean, I've already heard rumors of like big sponsors at big events that traditionally are big events, have been asked to put up more money and they've declined. So, no. Yep. And so
but the Honda's not doing the Honda anymore.
Right. And there's others. And I don't know if that will be out this year or if it'll be next year or whatever. But either way, it's a shit show, basically, is the best way I think to put it. I don't know how else to phrase it.
Yep, the Jay Monahan shit show. That's the best way to say it. I just hope it gets resolved soon enough. Like I don't fault Rahm at all. I fault the PGA Tour or Jay Monahan for Rahm. Right. It sucks. Like your very first sentence, it sucks for basically PGA Tour fans. That part, 100% agree with. I'd love to see Brooks and Rahm and DJ every single Bryson even every week. Gooch, throw them out there. Yep. Reality is money talks. That's the history of life, and that's just the way it goes. Hopefully get resolved sooner or later, and we'll obviously still plug along this PGA Tour season. So, and the last note I will say is Rahm just got elected as the 2023 PGA Tour Golfer of the Year by the media. So now Liv has 2 of the past 4 major champions and the 2023 Player of the Year sitting in their clubhouse. I mean, that's pretty wild stuff when you think about it.
Yeah, I don't know how it gets fixed, but I hope it does eventually.
Well, it starts at the top. Chop its head off. Let's go to Maui, though. Let's talk about beautiful sunshines and brighten up our day and talk about the PGA Tour starting off its 2024 season. We had the swing season, or whatever the heck they call it now. I enjoy it as a degenerate because you get some fun, younger golfers having some fun. Some of them got wins then to come in to Maui to have some fun here. Jesse mentioned it's 59 golfers. It's your previous season's winners, and top 50 in the FedEx. So there's a lot more first-timers here this year. It actually got Xander into it this year because he didn't win it all last year. So that would have been a rarity. But what do you have for some past event history? Because we actually have quite a bit at the Sentry.
Yeah, there's plenty here. It's been played at Kapalua for a while now. But last year, Jon Rahm was the winner, 27 under, 2 shots over Colin Morikawa. 2022, Cam Smith, 34 under, 1 shot over Jon Rahm. I don't know if you remember that year, but that was like one of the best, I think, at this ever. Obviously the scores were super low, but it was just a good duel of those 2 good golfers. Harris English 2021 champion, 25 under in a playoff over Joaquin Niemann. 2020 was Justin Thomas in a playoff at 14 under over Patrick Reed and Xander Schauffele. I mean, just every single year for at least the last 4, a live golfer has been.
I was about to say a live golfer.
In the top 2.
The last couple of winners, live golfers.
It's crazy. Xander was the 2019 winner, 23 under, 1 shot over Gary Woodland. 2018 was Dustin Johnson, 24 under, 8 shots over Jon Rahm.
Was that the year he almost drove the hole-in-one on the par 4?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. JT's won this twice. So 2017 was his first time. Spieth's won in the past. And that's pretty much all you need to know.
Yes, this is at Kapalua, the plantation course at Kapalua, I should say, in Maui, Hawaii. It's beautiful. Like Jesse mentioned, we got nighttime golf for us. It's a par 73, almost 7,600 yards, which makes it sound huge. 3 par 3s, 11 par 4s, 4 par 5s. So it's a different layout than normal, but it's not as huge as it sounds. Like the final hole, the 18th, a 677-yard par 5. you can get there in 2 because a lot of these holes are downhill and downwind. That's why I mentioned DJ almost got a hole in one on a par 4. It rolled for days. It was still bombed, don't get me wrong, but it rolled for days. Wind can be a factor on the ocean courses. It's expected to be pretty windy on Friday and Saturday with chances of rain. So we'll see how that plays out. But it's a birdie fest. It's a no-cut event. So you got that going for you. Some of the biggest greens you'll see on tour. Some of the biggest fairways you'll see on tour. So bombers can give it a rip. Usually we'll find the fairway not very penal outside that. There are some areas we've seen guys get in the bushes and whatnot on these coastal courses, but a lot of it's pretty just grip it and rip it. Your approach game should be good because you want to be more pen seeking than green seeking because the greens are so big. So 3-putt avoidance is huge, but you obviously need birdies at these events. I will say that there's a lot of blind shots off the tees, especially. So course history is pretty important here. First timers rarely ever win at this event, if at all. Like last year, Tom Hoagie finished 3rd, Tom Kim finished 5th in their debuts. That's a rarity at these events. Now we have a lot more first timers this year, like I mentioned at the start of the show. We'll see if that's a trend that continues. But most first timers do have a learning curve here. You'll hear a lot of Augusta comps because it's kind of angled fairways, elevation changes, greens are the same. So the complexes are very complicated, but also very simple to hit, if that makes sense. So score, get hot with the putter. Usual stuff we see in the fall swing. Great way to get a resort course to start the season. What do you got on stats you're looking for?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I mean, birdie or better. And, you just got to get hot with the putter because, like you said, the greens are big. You do have to avoid the 3 putts. But generally speaking, the course is not very difficult, as evidenced by somebody shooting 34 under over 4 days at this golf course and beating a person by 1 shot. Yeah, I mean, obviously, they're very, very the best golfers in the world, but for these guys, it's not that difficult. So,
yep, not as crazy as one would think, for sure. Let's get into some DK here again. 59 golfers. Everybody makes the cut. You got the best of the best. And I'm using more tournament history than recent form. Like I'm going to use recent form for certain guys that have played, but a lot of the big dogs didn't even play in the fall swing.
Right.
So, or if they did, it was like the team events or those things that, yeah, okay. That's like me and Jesse going and playing skins with our buddies. Let's just be real about it. So let's talk about the pricing here. 4 guys that are technically 3 because Rory is in the pool, but he's not in the field. Like I told Jesse, when I saw the prices on Friday, I'm like, Rory never plays this event, and he withdrew pretty quickly. So you got 3 guys over 10K. You got Scotty at 11,000, Vic 10,500, and Xander at $10,000. Who you liking up here?
Yeah, have you seen Scotty's beard?
He's looking sharp. Hopefully that helps him putt because I grew a beard and I can't even swing a golf club with my back these days. So I don't know what the beard's doing for him. He's a lot younger than I am, though.
He looks homeless. He looked awful.
Yeah, his beard, like needs
to be like trimmed up.
That's what I was going to go with. You got to trim that. It's like even I trim mine every couple of days just to kind of keep it fresh and whatnot. And
especially like the cheeks part, like you know what I'm saying, like where these straight hairs start growing. You gotta
trim that up. Look good. Like he's got all the money in the world. It's gonna be on TV. Like you know what? I'm expecting the DJ approach Thursday morning, clean shaven.
He could be, or maybe he gets it.
Or it's alter ego Scotty. It's alter ego Scotty. You know, he was a church going godly man last year. Maybe something's going on. He's ready to go scorched earth on the PGA Tour. I don't know. We're all having fun here.
I hope so. I don't. Did you do the year rewind thing that Cut Sweats did? Did you see that?
Yes.
Did you do it for yourself?
No, I didn't want to. I know it wasn't great.
Well, it doesn't show you how much money you lost.
Oh, so I should do it. I thought there was like because
it doesn't show
you. There's so many weeks where the 6 to 6 was so close.
You should do it because it's like for me, like it was like my top owned golfer was Scotty Scheffler. That's the most I played last year. The guy who lost me the most money, Scotty Scheffler.
Well, because we talk about it on the show a lot, he was priced so high. If he didn't win, you're just like. We always love Scotty. It was always like, okay, if we're not going to play Scotty, this is who we're going to play. It was always the situation, and that makes sense. I'm doing it now as you speak.
So, with that being said, I'm playing Scotty Scheffler. 7th and 13th in his 2 appearances here. 7th was last year. 2021 was 13th. I don't know what else to say about him. He's Scotty Scheffler. The other guy who is playable is Xander. He's got the good course history as far as if you take away the withdrawal last year, I don't remember what happened with that, but 12th, 5th, 2nd, 1st in his last 4 starts here. If you go all the way back to 2018, he's got a 22nd place finish, which is not great because it was like a 30-man field at that point. But otherwise, I mean, basically finished inside the top 5 there in 3 of the last 4 with a win. Obviously, his year wasn't great, but he did. I showed that he won the Tour Championship.
Scotty?
Maybe that was just no. This is Xander.
Oh, Xander.
This is what it says on DK. I don't know if maybe just if you take away the like starting scores. See, I don't know what they're doing there, but either way, those are the 2 that I'm looking at. I would love to play Vic. His course history is not good here. 18th, 30th, and 31st in the last 3 starts. So it's Scotty number 1, Xander, number 2 for me.
Yeah, I have no problem with the Scotty pick. He's the best of the best. And it's really crazy that we're both going to do this because Vic was the best player in the world when the season ended.
Yeah,
I'm out. Prove me wrong. Totally cool with that. I'll eat that crow all day long.
It's entirely possible he does too.
He's young. He was having the time of his life in his native country. Like if you follow him on Instagram, guys, he is a young person, and I love it. He embraces it. So that's good. But I'm with you. X is my dude. I'm really curious to see. I got some ownership projections. I was looking at them last night. I just updated them right now. X is projected to be about 28%, give or take. Scotty 23 and Vic 17. I still like X. Like there's good chalk, there's bad chalk. I think this is good chalk. The course history is ridiculous. I wouldn't be shocked if we see X towards the top of the podium yet again. If you want to go Scotty, you can. It's X for me. And then just for fun, because since you made me do it, Cat Sweat. This is hilarious to me looking at this year in review of mine because it just sums me up in a nutshell. The players I drafted the most: Cam Davis, Fitzpatrick, and Matsuyama. That pretty much sums me up there. Players I spent the most money on: Sungjae, Carson Young, and Fitzpatrick. Players that earned the most: Chris Kirk, Lucas Glover, and Ryan Palmer. The ones that lost you the most: Eric Cole was my first one, which is very surprising. Sungjae M and Colin Morikawa. That was rough.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I guess I just faded the chalk Cole, and so losing you is probably not playing him. They probably factor that into like you lost because you didn't play him or something.
Right.
I don't know
either.
All right, but yeah, back to the regularly scheduled programming here. So 10K Xander for me. 9K range, you got Cantlay at 99, Homa at 97, Wyndham Clark 96, Fitz 95, Harmon 93, Hatton 92, Morikawa 91, Fleetwood 9,000. That's a fun little range here. What do you got here?
Yeah, Cantlay at 99 is very playable. Good course history. Hasn't finished outside the top 16 in the last 5 starts here. The 16th place finish was last year, coming off a 6th place finish at the Tour Championship, 15th, 2nd. So he's playing really well at the end of the year. Obviously, he's been off since. Your boy Fitzpatrick, dude. I mean, like nobody will play him.
Yep.
He finished 7th here last year. He won in October on the European Tour in the Alfred Dunhill. And he played really well, I think, at the Hero. I don't have those stats for whatever reason, but I think Fitz is your low-owned potential winner. Let's put that out there.
That's fair.
Hatton at 92 has never played here, but another guy who's been playing on the European Tour, finished 2nd at the BMW, 11th in his last start. Morikawa, I think, is playable simply because of course history. 2nd, 5th, 7th in his 4 starts here. And then lastly, Fleetwood. He's never played here, but come off a 2nd place finish at the DP World Tour Championship. And we just know how he is, and obviously can play in the wind. Him and Hatton both. They
came at 95 as well. But going back to Cantlay at 99, coming in really good form. Well, finished the year good, I should say. His course history here is pretty solid as well, so I have no problem with Cantlay. He will be pretty popular, so will Fitz. Fitz won't be. Fitz is about 12%, give or take. I think Homa is very enticing. $9,700 for Max Homa. You look at recent times here, he was 25th in 2020, 15th in 2022, 3rd last year. He's improved every season. We've seen that trend with Max Homa in the past at certain golf courses. He starts doing that and starts playing better. I like Homa quite a bit. I looked at ownership last night. It was very low. Now it's up to about 22%. So people are catching on to that, unfortunately. But Homa, I am a fan of. Morikawa, like you mentioned, at $9,100, very cheap for a guy that crushes. Nothing worse than a T7 at this golf course. It's ridiculous. So I'm 100% with you on that one. But definitely a fun range. If you are looking for someone that's going to get completely overlooked, I'm not sold if I'm on him yet or not. The defending Open champion, Brian Harman's going to be about 5%, which is very low in this range. Just not sold on that one just yet. 8K range, you got Tom Kim at 89, Spieth at 88, Ludwig Ober at 87, Ricky Fowler at 86, Jason Day at 85, Tony Finau 84, Cam Young at 83, Burns 82, M 81, Matsuyama 8,000. Who do you like in this range?
Real quick on my Cut Sweats year in review. So I rostered Scotty Scheffler 62 times, which is 22 more than the next person, which is Rahm and Fleetwood. And then spent the most on Scheffler, Adam Scott, and Hatton. The players that earned me the most were Adam Long, Hovland, and Eric Van Rooyen.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then the players that lost me the most were Scheffler, Scott, Adam Scott, and Will Zalatoris. I guess I probably spent a lot on him at the Masters or something, or earlier in the year. I don't know, but
that's hilarious.
I lost a lot of money on those guys. So yeah, it's fun. If you go to Cutsweats,
that is pretty cool to go back and look at.
/review, or you go to at Cutsweats on Twitter, X, whatever. He's got a link there. So pretty cool thing that old Bud did there. Anyway, so yeah, back to the players here. Tom Kim, love him at $8,900. Fifth here last year. Had a really good fall. 15th, first at the Shriners, 18th at the BMW, 15th was at the World Championship for the European Tour or whatever, and played well in the finale of the PGA Tour too. So I like Tom Kim quite a bit. And Oberg, obviously he's never played here, but his last 4 starts are 1st, 10th, 13th, 2nd. The guy's going to have a great year. You're going to be hearing that name a lot on this podcast if you listen regularly. So 8,700. Just go ahead and hop on the train now. Ricky Fowler's course history is pretty fucking good. 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th. Now, he hasn't played here since 2020. That was the last start he finished 5th then. And the form coming in is not like necessarily what you desire, but if you're just looking for a course history guy, 8,600 on him. And then also love Sung Jae, 13th, 8th, and 5th in his last 3 starts, the last 3 years at this course, coming off a 12th place finish at the Zozo. So he actually played in the fall swing. And if you follow his caddy,
Thrillcox,
Will, yes, they've been out there since I think before this past weekend.
A few days for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't blame him. I would go out there as early as I possibly could as well. But I'm sure that they're getting some rounds in at Kapalua. So Sung Jae, I actually like a lot.
Yeah, I'm on the same page on that one. Sung Jae is one of my favorite plays this week at $8,100 for a couple of reasons. It's a no-cut event, so we want guys that go birdie, birdie, birdie crazy. Sunday's great at that, especially in par 5 scoring. Like that's his forte, is let's just get nuts. I use the last 24 rounds for my model. Again, it's tough with these guys not playing a ton right now. But Sung Jae is just a DK scoring machine. We've seen that time and time again. So I love Sung Jae. I'll start at the bottom since he's 81. Matsuyama at 8,000 is a guy I just can't quit at that price point. 21st, 13th the last 2 years here. That entices me. The finish of the year, not ideal for Sung. It was up and down, I'll say. He was 51st of the Zozo. He played because he had to. We know he's been battling neck injuries and everything. I'm hoping the layoff did him well. And he comes in kind of, he's projected to be like 12%, maybe less, which is very low for Hideki because like Sung Jae is going to be like 18 to 20, give or take. So Hideki at that range is very, very interesting to me. Love Tony Finau. He's another guy that can go birdie making machine at $8,400. Don't mind Ober, as you mentioned. The other guy I want to mention is Jordan Spieth. 2 reasons. Projected to be 12% or less owned, which is very, very big. Look at recent results here at this golf course, and we're talking. Where is Spieth? He's right here. 13th last year, 21st the year before. You hear Augusta comps. These are things he does very, very well. He can play in the wind. I think he's a guy if you get a low ownership. I know the form's been kind of messy, but it could be a fun one for Jordan Spieth as well. So if you're just looking for pivots, like this range has a couple with Matsuyama and Spieth that I think can be a bit interesting at least. 7K range, you got about 20 guys here, Jesse. So I'm gonna do 7K altogether.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
perfectly fine.
Like
Keegan, 7,900. He's played here enough. The finishes aren't great. He did have a 4th place finish way back in 2013, but he's been around here enough, and I just feel like Keegan's going to have a chip this year, so I'll probably be hearing that name a lot as well throughout the year from me. Russell Henley at 7,700. Played here 4 times. Best finish was 3rd in 2015. Finished 30th here last year, so not necessarily great, but coming in 13th and 13th, 8th, 6th, 2nd in his last 5 starts. So he was coming on pretty good there at the end of the year. Eric Cole, he's a rookie at this course, first timer, but last 3 starts, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd. So the form at the end of the year was really good for him. Cam Davis at 7,100, 10th here last year or in 2022, 12th, 7th, and 3rd in his last 3 starts on tour. So there's some really good current form guys coming in who maybe haven't been around here a lot, or if at all in tournament play. But yeah, those would be the 4 that I'd be targeting in this range for sure.
Not playing your boy?
I got so many boys. Which one is my boy?
Sahith?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at him 33rd here last year. The form, I mean, obviously won the Fortnite, but I don't know, man.
He's gonna be very popular.
You think so?
They're at least 20% plus.
Yeah, I mean that for that reason I would lay off of him. I like Henley a lot better. And I don't know how owned he's going to be, but Henley or Cole.
Henley's about 20% as well. Cole's going to be a massive shock. He's approaching the Xander shock about 28%.
Oh God. Well,
yeah. Well, the name you mentioned,
in this small field, it's hard to get off.
You're going to get a lot. That's why if you're 15% or less, I think you're still okay, honestly.
Yeah.
And eat some chalk. There is good chalk. There's no denying that. One guy you did mention, though, Keegan Bradley, I'm with you at 79. He's projected for less than 5%. So that's tremendous if he plays well. I'm with you there. Corey Connors is another one. He's another low percentage guy. And I like him for the fact that at this event, 18th last year, 19th in 2020, the 2 years he played. Obviously, it's been an up and down year for Corey Connors. We finished 44th at the RSM. It's a guy that was at least starting to trend in a little better direction. And the course knowledge I like a lot with Corey Connors here at $7,500. Eric Cole at 74 is still very much in play. Not going to deny that. Cam Davis, I love at 71. We just talked about my most roster players. He's expected to be in the 25+% range, though. So keep that in mind with Cam Davis. But anywhere where the driver is not a bad thing because there's so much room to miss, we love Cam Davis. So big fan of Cam Davis at this track. And then if you want another potentially low-owned guy here, give me Siwoo Kim. Finished 23rd here in 2022. I believe he won the Sony last year, which is next week. So he's got that Hawaiian thing going on for him. So I don't mind Siwoo as another kind of punt play at $7,100. 6K we can punt away, including one of your most beneficial players last year's down here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got him checked off. Start with Tom Hoge here at 6,700. 3rd here last year. The form coming in is not great, but if you look at his form last year coming in, he had missed 2 straight cuts coming into the into the same event. So it didn't affect him, and he finished 3rd. So maybe it's just a course thing for him because course history is real. Eric Van Rooyen, 6,300. Most definitely clicking his name. 25th in his lone start here in 2022, but coming off a W at the Worldwide Technologies Championship back in November. And then Luke List, 6,200, finished 11th here last year, and the form coming in is most definitely good enough to play Luke List in this field, especially at this price, almost bare minimum pricing here. So those are the 3 that I like in this range.
Yeah, I have Tom Hoge checked off as well. I was tempted to go with Adam Schenk, but we'll see how the first time goes there. Like me some Hoge at 67. Mac Hughes at 64. Mackenzie Hughes is interesting to me. It'll be a first time here for Hughes, of course, as he got the win this past year. But what I really liked about looking at Mackenzie Hughes, he finished 2nd at the RSM, 7th at the WW Technology, 48th at the Zozo. So he finished the season extremely strong, very good approach game. So I'm in on Mac Hughes. Love EVR at 63. I was honestly surprised he was this cheap as well as he's been playing. So like that. Seamus Power coming off the injury at $6,300. Maybe, hopefully, goes overlooked. Didn't play in the fall swing, but his last 2 years here, 25th and 15th. So I'll take my chances with Seamus. And then I love Luke List. You mentioned 11th here last year. 19th, 20th, his last two events. 19th, 20th, 45th, 18th, and 1st on the fall swing. Pretty good fall swing for Mr. List. And if it's a place where you can bomb it away and then hopefully find the putter at that price point, I'm all in. So there are some fun punt plays down here that actually have some upside that can allow you to go a little stars and scrubsy pretty simple around here.
Let me give one more. Matt Wallace at 6,600. Nobody will play him. And he's actually been playing golf in the fall, European Tour golf, 2nd, 15th, and 9th in his 3 European Tour starts, starting at the end of October through the middle of November there. So
it's a good call.
Just low-owned dart potential. You got to have in this field on DraftKings, you got to have somebody who's low-owned who just gets inside the top 10 who out of nowhere. It's kind of like a Masters type of week with no cut.
And I will say down here, it's pretty much all guys sub 10%. Svensson might get some love. Bhatia might get some love. Luke List projected over 20%. He's supposed to be the chalk down here. Everybody else is below 10%, it looks like. So you can definitely pick your way around down here and take some chalk up top if you so choose. And these numbers will shift. Like I said, I looked at them last night, and then they already shifted a bunch as of Tuesday as we recorded. And it's a Thursday late tee time. There's going to be a lot of movement in these as we get going. Let's recap things real quick here. We don't condone cash on no-cut events, so T's and P's. But if you're playing tournaments, Jesse, how you starting things out?
Fitzpatrick, Tom Kim, Sung Jae.
All right, for me, I'm going to go the X-Man. Give me Xander, Fitzpatrick, and EVR. We'll start that direction. Fill in your middle pieces.
We didn't recap each range.
It's been rusty here. Let's recap each range here. 10K and above. Which one of the three you like the most?
Yeah, Scotty.
I'll take the X-Man, Xander. 9K range.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I'll take Homa to be different from you there. 8K range.
Tom Kim.
It's a great range. I'm going to go with Sung Jae at 81. 7K range.
Henley.
Okay, you like Henley. I will take Keegan and Bradley. 6K.
I'm going to say Matt Wallace just for a low-owned dart there.
I'll go EVR then. I was going to give you EVR, but I'll take EVR. Sounds good to me. All right, now back to the part before I screwed it up. Who you got winning this thing, mister? You were running pretty hot there towards the end of last year.
I hit one tournament.
Hey, 1 out of like every 5 or 6 is all it takes, man. It's running hot in my books.
We'll probably start my own tout site before too long.
Yep.
These odds are fucking crazy.
They're bad. It's a small field.
5.5 to 1 on Scotty to win this, and then you got, Aberg, whatever, Aberg at 14. I think that's way too low on him.
Especially compared to his DK price.
Yeah, but there's a massive gap after that, which Fitzpatrick at 22 I think is bettable. Tom Kim, 25, Sung Jae at 35, and Henley at 35, and those are all bets that I've placed here. So I usually do about 1/4 of a unit on each. So
I like the Sung Jae at 35. I think Finau at 30 is interesting as well. Potential price tagging value, whatever you want to call it, at this event. Other than that, it's hard to go too much deeper here. The cream should rise, like we saw at most elevated events last year, which this is an elevated event.
Yeah,
cream usually rises to the top, folks. So if you want to go deep, you can. You never know. Anything can happen. But I prefer to maybe go, the top 10, top 20 hunting, if you prefer. Go that direction. Like one that's interesting to me, just based on price alone, Keegan Bradley's 55 to 1 to win, but you can get like a 4 to 1 to top 10. That's like a 1/6 of the field to get. So if you top 10, your odds are decent, I think. So stuff like that. That's what I look at. Like, do you think Keegan has a better chance to top 10 or Scotty to win? You're about the same odds almost. So start thinking about it that way, folks. And where you throw your money around. All right, final thoughts. First event of the season, going to be a fun one, I think. I'm really looking forward to it. We got full field next week, so that'll be giddy up time.
Yeah, definitely. I guess ready to get back into the PGA Tour grind, and let's just hope and pray that they figure out how to make one tour again. That way we can watch all the guys every week.
Yep, that would be the dream. That would be the dream for sure. But if you want to dream about other things, we'll be back next week. You can dream about another week of PGA Tour action. Check out Jesse on Twitter at DFS Golf Gods, the pod at Always Press DFS. I'm at BD Intric. This was your 2024 Sentry PGA DFS preview. Catch you all next time.